have to know that history. We have to know that argument. We have to know part of our defence of Palestine is the intellectual self-defence. We have to be able to know these things. We have to learn it. We have to be able to combat all of the lies and the bullshit in the media because it's disgusting.
Shot from the gun of an IOF soldier does not ask the faith of a Palestinian before it kills him dead. A missile descending upon a building filled with Palestinian families does not take a poll of all of the Palestinians' faiths before it destroys that building and extinguishes the life within it. So with that, what I say is,
250 people were killed by bullets when Palestinians were marching in Gaza. 6,000 were shot with live ammunition when you're marching. Imagine a Palestinian waking up in the morning to march for freedom, and he knows it might be the last day on this planet, so we have got a lot less to lose. We can be the bodies, we can be the movement, we can be the power here.
This means, Mother of a Martyr, I envy you. I wish my mother was you.
The CEO of the National Graphene Institute, the man who used to work for BAE Systems, one of the biggest arms companies in the world. This man wants to focus graphene research on the arms trade. He wants to make it like America, where everything, every single little bit of scientific research goes on military capabilities, goes on weapons. He wants to make the drones and the planes that bomb Gaza better. And by better, I mean he wants to kill more people, because it will make him more money. Fuck James Baker! Fuck James Baker! Fuck James Baker!
a Palestinian girl a couple of years ago, but yet in 2021 her words still apply to our situation. Look into my eyes and tell me what you see. You don't see a thing because you can't relate to me. You're blinded by our differences. My life makes no sense to you. I'm the persecuted Palestinian. You're the red, white and blue. Each day you wake in tranquility, no fears to cross your eyes. Each day I wake in gratitude, thanking God He let me rise. You worry about your education and the bills you have to pay. I worry about my vulnerable life and if I'll survive another day. Your biggest fear is getting a ticket as you cruise your Cadillac. My biggest fear is that the tank that has just left will turn around and come back. Do you realize that the taxes that you pay feed the forces that traumatize my every living day? The bulldozers and the tanks, the gases and the guns, the bombs that fall outside my door, all due to your funds. Yet, do you know the truth of where your money goes? Do you let the media deceive your mind? Is this a truth that no one knows? You blame me for defending myself against the ways of the Zionists. I'm terrorized in my own land and labeled as a terrorist. You think you know all about terrorism, but you don't know it the way I do. So let me define the term for you and teach you what you thought you knew. I've known terrorism for quite some time, 54 years and more. It's the fruitless garden uprooted in my yard. It's the bulldozers in front of my door. Terrorism breathes the air I breathe. It's the checkpoint on my way to school. It's the curfew that jails me in my own home and the penalties of breaking that curfew law. Terrorism is the robbery of my land and the torture of my mother, the imprisonment of my innocent father and the bullet in my baby brother. So don't tell me you know about the injustice my people endure. Palestine is our land and there will remain until the day our homeland is secure. And if that time shall never come, then you will never see a day of peace. I will not be thrown from my home, nor will my fight for justice cease. And if I am killed, it will be in Palestine. It is written on my every breath. So in your own patriotic words, give me liberty or give me death. Thank you.
For Black Lives Matter, if you are able to, if you can, just take a knee and let us just have a moment. Let's just have a moment in solidarity. Go.
Palestinian life matter!
Palestine will never fall. It needs a helping hand, and that is us. And although it has suffered a lot, enough is enough. We have had enough. The world has had enough. Palestine has had enough. We will stand here. We will stand here for every second of every minute of every hour of every day if we have to. But we will stand here until the end. We will stand here until Palestine is free. Palestine will rebuild. Young men and women will be able to go back to school. New babies will be born. But that all starts with us. Protesters in Manchester, London, New York City, Japan, countries and cities all over the world are protesting because Palestine is in need. We are here for Palestine. We are here because of Palestine, and we are here with Palestine. Free, free. Palestine. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Takbir. Allah. Takbir. Allah. Takbir.
We organized the 2 million march against the Iraq War many years ago. And on that march, it wasn't just no to war with Iraq, it was also freedom for Palestine. Assalamu alaikum, and peace be with you. I want to start, but I want to give a message to the BBC. They back British crimes, that's what they've been doing. So I want everybody to raise their hand, make a fist, and in that fist is our commitment that we will never, never give up until Palestine is free. Never give up. 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 Put that on your TV screens, BBC. Is it about time? I want to take up a couple issues. issues. One, we hear that people who oppose the Zionists are anti-Semitic. That's what they're trying to say, and to stop us from demonstrating. You telling me that the people who are defending their houses, defending their families in Palestine, defending them against the crimes committed against them, against the Nakba, that they were driven by anti-Semitism? No, they were driven by justice. They were driven by defense. And all of us who can see that, we will support that struggle. And we are not supporters of Zionism. We are the enemies of Zionism. There's another thing that came out. America says, Israel's the only democracy in the Middle East. Will you tell that to the 20% of Palestinians left what kind of democracy that is? It's a robber's democracy. It's like a group of thugs break into your house and have a vote and throw you out. That's Israel's democracy. Who backs the dictatorship in Egypt? The United States. Who funds the Egyptian army to put the bullets in the heads of the Egyptian people? Who stops them from demonstrating in support of the Palestinians? The United States and Britain. Who supports the Saudi regime, rotten and corrupt from top to bottom? They give arms to all the dictators to keep their own people down, because the key to the Middle East is oil. Oil. That's why they back the Zionists, to protect their oil interests in the Middle East. We have mighty enemies, but we can defeat them. I first became politically active when I was 17 years old in the U.S. Navy against the Vietnam War. America was defeated in Vietnam, one of the poorest countries in the world. We can win. We can defeat them. Our solidarity has grown throughout the world. We are becoming stronger and stronger. We have a long way to go, but we won't give in. We will beat them, and we will stand with the people in America fighting against racism. We will stand with those fighting resistance everywhere. We will stand together, and I look forward to the day when we march arm in arm together with the people in Egypt, when we trample over the bodies of the dictators, and we march into Jerusalem, and Palestine will be free!
Free, free! Free, free!
BBC, shame on you! BBC, shame on you! BBC, shame on you! BBC, shame on you! Boris Johnson, 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 shame on you! BBC, shame on you! BBC, shame on you! BBC, shame on you! BBC, shame on you!
I want to see people spreading awareness, because in Palestine they don't have a voice. They're literally being silenced. Are we going to let them be silenced? We are going to be their voice. Remember them in your prayers. Remember to be grateful, because we have a lot that they don't have. We don't have to worry about if we can survive in the next minute. We have water, we have food, we have shelter, we have education. Remember them. Don't ever forget the ones that have died, the ones that are suffering right now. Remember, it isn't free Palestine while it's a trend. It's free Palestine so it's backwards.
Just to tell you guys, if anyone wants to go pray, there's a guy stood at the back waiting for the guys to pray the Lord. If anyone wants to go and pray.
Hi everyone, I'm Mona. Remember the man who you like you all? Yeah? What man who you together? I just like to grandma that I was taking out of her house that she'd been living there. And it was your family, your mum and her mum. free Canada, massacre Australia, starve India, and smother Palestine. The West carves our people and our culture apart, but they will never take our hearts. We fight for our lives. We fight for humanity. We fight for political truth. We share our spirit with Palestine. We shout louder than the Israeli bombs. All the way from Manchester. We say to Palestine, you are not alone. We stand with you. We are with you. We are a collective of oppressed people that have had enough. Palestine people belong to Palestine land. Palestine people belong to Palestine land. After World War II, 80% of Palestinians no longer able to return to their indigenous lands. Forced by the Israeli mass movement under the management and protection of England. Now 9 million Israelis dominate 5 million Palestinians. Netanyahu grabs their land, bombs their people, attempts to dispose of Palestine culture and destroy Islamic religious legacies. We must fight against the lethal combination of Israeli persecution and Western supremacy. England offers 2 states, then calls it a solution. How the oppressed has become the oppressor. How your memory is so small. Israel, 75 years ago, the world fought for your freedom, your rights, your lives. Millions died for liberty, and now your government mirrors World War II crimes against humanity. How the oppressed has become the oppressor. How short your memory is.
It's the Palestinians that have led this. Right from the beginning, 73 years ago, they have led against the oppression, and we must stand with them finally now. We have to stand here in the UK, around the world. We cannot stop. We cannot stop because the future of Palestine, believe me, it's in our hands now. It is in our hands. I have never seen a change like this before in my life. We've been doing this for years. It's in your hands. It's in your hands. You can't do it. I really do believe for the first time in my life I might see a free Palestine. I honestly believe it for the first time. I was a teacher in Gaza for 2 years. I had students just like you. 2 of them I lost from the bombings. One of them had 2 little kids by then, and her entire family was wiped out in 2014. Her name was Huda. She had a name. Her children had names. Their parents grieve like our parents grieve, and it's about us standing up here, taking extra steps, being courageous, not taking no for an answer, because when they march in Gaza, they're marching towards the bullets. The Israelis are shooting at them. 250 protesters were killed in 2018. Now they are still continuing to fight the Palestinians. They're marching no matter how many bullets come. They're marching in Sheikh Jarrah. They're marching in Jerusalem. So if they can march there in Gaza, we can do a lot more here. We can go further. You to not take the platform. You take the platform now. You lead. It's your time. You're the ones that can win it for Palestine. You've been brilliant today. Let's give everybody a round of applause. Free, free! Palestine! 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 Viva, viva! Palestina! Viva, viva! Palestina! Viva, viva! Palestina! Look around you. How many people have white hairs on their head? How many people over 50 led these protests? It's up to the youth. We are the generation that is going to free Palestine. We have
about Palestine. Let's talk about men who wear white and black checkered kufias around their hearts with pride, and women dressed in long, elegant dresses in every hue of the sunset. Let's talk about Palestine. Olive trees that are a symbol of Palestinian culture that continue to flourish and thrive due to the resistance of its people in the occupied land. Let's talk about Palestine. Dripping syrup of Eid al-Fitr sweets, crowded streets, clapping, cheering, celebrating the end of an annual obligation. Let's talk about Palestine. Humans who celebrate the birth of their babies and prize their children's education, who cry and mourn their martyrs that are killed by Israeli forces. Let's talk about Palestine. The ethnic cleansing, the global genocide, killing of children, of families, destructions of homes, cities. But in reality, we will never stop talking about Palestine, because their pain is our pain, their freedom is our freedom. We will not go unheard. Inform them that we cannot be silenced by their guns and weapons. Tell them that they cannot silence us. We will not go without a fight. Tell them that they cannot be a nation led by Muhammad and protected from the heavens. Let's talk about Palestine.
Thank you so much. We support every tactic that will get Elbit out of Oldham and stop having UK Israel. So from petitions to letter writing, to rooftop occupations, to blocking the entrances. We might not take part in all of them, but we definitely will support them in any way we can. If people are interested, there are other groups out there that people can join and see what they're doing. There's a time and place to do these certain actions and petition writing and letter writing and taking direct action. But we got to be smart, just like how the weapons trade is smart, and be very tactical about our choices that we make. So we end up with a free Palestine. So one of the tactics we use on Saturday is numbers. So everyone start sharing pictures, videos, Instagram, Facebook posts, push this out so much, get it hashtagging. And do you know what the worrying thing is? We know Facebook is controlled by algorithms, we know Twitter is controlled by algorithms, but there's things that I've never even heard of. Telegram, TikTok, Signal, all these are all being used. And do you know what? It's about to stay one step ahead, but I tell you one thing you can't beat is a word of mouth. You go and tell everyone you know about what's happening on Saturday.
The people that will make the most difference are the people that will keep protesting after everyone else stops. Are the people that will keep posting on social media after everyone else stops. Are the people that will keep working after everyone else stops.
And just like he said, if there's 100,000 Twitters have gone out, then everybody here send it on to your own lists and your own friends and your own family and put it on your own social media. So everybody do that, and then 100,000 becomes 1 million, and that's how we continue. Everybody in this area, can you just turn round and look behind you? Because there's been half a dozen guys there. Those half a dozen guys have been standing in the burning sun, holding that banner up. Visible inside Albert on that top floor. Albert has been looking down at UK stop arming Israel all day. So thank you very much. Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Viva, viva! Palestina! Viva, viva! Palestina! Viva, viva! Palestina!
What do we want? Freedom! When do we want it? Now! Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine!
Democracy. What is democracy? Democracy comes from Greek word demos, kratos. Demos means the people, so if you've got a big group of people, that's the demos. Kratos. Kratos means rule. So democracy is the rule of the masses. So if everyone in Oldham said in one voice, we want to close Elbit down. If Elbit is not closed down, that is counter to democracy. Public opinion matches government policy, you have democracy. If they don't match, you have a system, whatever it is, you can have elections, but it's not democracy. So the Iraq war, public opinion was against it, England went to war, Iraq war was anti-democratic. The raising of tuition fees, public opinion was against it, it happened, therefore it was anti-democratic.
I stand here proudly as a British Palestinian young woman fighting against the injustice Palestinians have been through. This definitely won't be the last time. We will always stand here proudly fighting for Palestine to eventually be free, and until the chains of Palestine are broken. Whatever it takes, we will stand here in
on Green Acres Road is that not everybody quite understands what it is that these weapons are doing. And if they are hearing statistics, they're hearing hundreds, they're hearing injuries, they're hearing a lot of very sanitised language about actually where is the end footprint of the weapons that this company is building and profiting from. Now, I think this is important for everybody to see up close the pictures of the children that were killed by Israeli bombs, of which the majority are made by Elbit, this company here, the largest Israeli weapons company. They are the largest company. They have people selling their weapons saying they are field tested, whether it's on Gaza or on the rest of Palestine, or even having sold them to India to use against the Kashmiris, or having sold them, for example, to Burma and the military junta there. Many around the world are buying weapons based on this company, testing them on a population in Gaza. There's 2 million, and that is mostly children. Now you have to ask yourself, what kind of industry built and profits on the murder of these children here?
I just want to say a big thank you to, you don't mention it, I've been coming here since we started. There's a lot of mothers and sisters that come here, and we have to show them a lot of respect. Some of them are old, and some of them have children. Especially us males, we should be ashamed. There's a lot of mothers and sisters here, and daughters, should I say. All the males, give a big round of applause to the females. I've been Palestine myself, but I'm going to say one thing. Them people in Palestine, they are the lions of Islam, I am telling you. They are fighting for a big reason. And the other thing is, them people, they do not want anything, I'll tell you. Because I've been there, they've told me. They go, when you go back, tell your people to just come and visit us. That's all we want, and we just want you to pray for us. So may Allah make it easy for all them people. But we've got it easy here. I'm being honest, we've got it easy. Some of us, we might not be rich, but at least we're still living a comfortable life, should I say, yeah? So, let's all make dua for them people. Believe me, we have to make dua for them, yeah? That's all they want. And Allah Ta'ala listens to anybody. Don't think, we all sinners, no one's perfect, but just keep making dua for them, yeah?
The streets in Manchester, for example, we've been mobilising for about 10, 15 years at least, many more years actually, but a lot lately, and the streets have changed. People are starting to get it. So if everybody is starting to make a shift, there's a big chance here, there's a big chance. I've met Palestinians who thought that there was never a chance they can go home. They're stuck here, Israel won't let them back in, because Israel blocks all the borders for Palestinians to return home. And now they're starting to believe, Palestinians are starting to believe. One day they'll be going home, they'll be going to Al-Quds, they'll be going to Al-Aqsa, they'll be going to Gaza, they'll be going to Ramallah. They are starting to believe that they will be able to go home one day, and wouldn't that be one of the most monumental, beautiful things that we could imagine, right? And if we work hard, I can see it happening. I can see it happening.
1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more. 5, 6, 7, 8. Israel is a terrorist state. To the river, to the sea. Palestine will be free. Free, free. Palestine. Viva, viva. Palestina. Viva, viva. Palestina. Free, free. Palestine. Free, free. Palestine. Free, free. Palestine. Free, free. Palestine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more. 5, 6, 7, 8. Israel is a terrorist state. 1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more. 4, 6, 7, 8. Israel is a terrorist state. Beirut, Bitam, Nafis, Al-Aqsa. Beirut, Bitam, Nafis, Al-Aqsa. Beirut, Bitam, Nafis, Al-Aqsa. We free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. We free Palestine. Free, free Palestine.
Free, free.
Palestine.
Free, free.
Palestine.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
What do you want?
Freedom.
When do you want it?
People might remember Barclays Bank from the days of apartheid South Africa. The student movement in the 80s was basically saying burn your Barclays card because they supported the white regime in South Africa, the apartheid regime. They were one of the last banks to pull out of the white regime in South Africa. They were investing in a lot of the companies that were exploiting the blacks in South Africa. Finally, of course, people won the day. There was massive resistance on the ground from blacks in South Africa, and there was huge international support. And what was the word
word for international support for blacks in South Africa. It was boycott, it was sanctions, it was divestment. And now Barclays doesn't seem to be learning its lesson. Barclays is also investing in many companies that are continuing to fund weaponry that's being built, that's developing their weapons on the deaths of so many in Gaza.
Boycott Barclays!
How is the world seeing ethnic cleansing under its nose and 2 more villages under threat right now, the indigenous population, and still they turn their backs? We are never going to let them turn their backs anymore. Free, free! Palestine! 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 This is Puma. Israel is sponsored by the Puma, the Israeli Football Association. Israel has 6 teams on stolen Palestinian land. These are illegal Israeli settlements under international law even. Israel has continued to bomb and kill Palestinian footballers. There was Mahmoud Sarsak, who was a star footballer for the Palestinian national team. He was 21. He was arrested while trying to join up with his teammates in the West Bank, other Palestinians. They arrested him, they held him without charge for a year and a half, and they tortured him in prison before he finally won his freedom with a 99-day hunger strike. But this was an international football, and of course his career was ruined after 2 or 3 years. He has managed to get to England, and believe me, you should hear his story. There were 3 footballers killed, murdered by the Israeli army in 2008-9 during the 22-day bombing. Imagine international footballers get killed by an occupying force, the Israeli army, who is bombing all over Gaza during that time, when they killed 1,400 people, including 330 children. When I was there in Gaza in 2012, they bombed the stadium. It was the bombing of November 2012. They bombed not only schools, they bombed mosques, they bombed shops, they bombed houses, they bombed villages, but they bombed the football stadium, the Palestine stadium, and there were 4 enormous craters running all the way through it. This is what they're doing to Palestinian sports. Under any circumstances, if we talk about sporting freedom, where is the Palestinian sporting freedom? Right now we are having major victories for Puma, and believe me, Puma will be pulling out of Israel in about a year's time. They will not renew that contract. If they do, they'll be committing commercial suicide, because just recently the Qatar national team has said no longer can we have Puma as the sponsors after a campaign. Marcus Rashford and Raheem Sterling, 2 massive anti-racist footballers, were both targeted by Puma to try and whitewash their crimes here by supporting Israel, and they were targeted for sponsoring the boots of Rashford and Raheem Sterling. So we found out a few days ago that Rashford is not going for Puma, and we found out a week ago that Raheem Sterling's not going for Puma either. This is how we won it for South Africa. Gradually people got the message, and the sporting boycott was as important as any.
Hassan, why are we protesting in front of a bank? Why do we need to do this? I mean, I understand protest, but why in front of this bank in particular? And I said to him, this occupation has gone on for 73 years. It's crucial that we fight with all of our might, and to do that we need to shut down every facet, every sector of the Israeli government. We will boycott their blood money. We will boycott them for all we can. 100 years from now, I want when children to open history books, I want them to see that when Israel fell, there wasn't a nickel in their wallet. No one helped them. I want the HSBC to completely reject Israel. We will not stand for this. These people are war profiteering. They are dancing on the graves of children while floating their cash in the air. Do they think we'll remain silent? No! Do they think we will remain silent? No! As long as we have breath in our lungs and blood in our veins, we will stand for the people of Palestine! Free, free! Free, free! Viva, viva! Viva, viva! The children of Palestine, I make you this promise. I know that you're going through hell right now, but you must wait. Be patient, because we will win your freedom! was saddened to hear the news of the Gaza bombing, and the BBC obviously were up to the usual shenanigans and reported it as Israel retaliates to Gaza with bombs after the Palestinians throw incendiary bombs.
Shame on them! 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 Shame on you! BBC, shame on you! BBC, shame on you! BBC, shame on you! BBC, shame on you!
And what I'm trying to say is that ultimately the war will be against you. The media will try and brainwash you as much as they can, but you must be faithful in your heart, and you must stand with the Palestinians regardless of what they say. Free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!
We've marched today, university students, college students, high school students, to show that this university and our institutions cannot get away with being complicit in Israeli apartheid and Israeli settler colonialism and the Israeli war crimes against the Palestinian people. This institution has blood on its hands. There are two main campaigns that we're running at the moment. Two main ways that this university is complicit in Israeli apartheid. The first is that this university has a student exchange program with the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, which is in occupied East Jerusalem.
Shame on you!
Shame on you! This university is sending its students to live and study on illegally occupied Palestinian land. This is illegal under international law. It breaks the 4th Geneva Convention, which says that the occupying force cannot move a civilian population onto the territory it occupies. That is what Israel is doing when it sends students to study in an Israeli university on Palestinian land. It is not just a university, though. It is also a military base for the Israeli occupation forces. They have Israeli officers studying there, doing a so-called excellence program, where they are required to study wearing uniform and carrying guns. And that means that the Palestinians who live nearby, the Palestinians who attend the university, have to be constantly under threat from Israeli soldiers. This is the kind of institution that the University of Manchester says is highly reputable. Do we agree with that?
No!
Do we agree with that?
No!
No, it is not. It is not reputable. It is not good, and these people need to stop. They need to end their relationship with the Hebrew University of Manchester. So that's the first way. That's the first way this university is complicit. The second way is that some of you may have heard of the graphene project here at the University of Manchester. Graphene is a highly advanced 2D material. It's the world's first 2D material. It has many scientific applications that could be great for humanity. But this university is more interested in its military applications. It's more interested in teaming up with BAE Systems, who are deeply complicit not only in the bombing of the Palestinians, but in the genocide of the Yemeni people. They are working with Lockheed Martin, with Rolls-Royce, with Israel Aerospace Industries to build better drones, better bombs, better planes. This is what they think scientific research should be about. This is what they think graphene should be used for. The CEO of the National Graphene Institute, who's only sitting a bit down the road, is a man called James Baker. And James Baker used to be an executive with BAE Systems. He used to literally work for an arms company, and now the University of Manchester thinks that he is fit to lead their scientific projects. He has gone on record to say that he wants graphene's business model to be centered around defense. And what does defense mean? It means imperialist war. It means the murder of innocent people all across the world, not just in Palestine, but in Yemen, in Kashmir, in West Papua, in Colombia. This is what this university is complicit in. This university has blood on its hands. UOM, shame on you! UOM, shame on you! UOM, shame on you! UOM, shame on you! We've proven that we can win. This BDS campaign was started now about 5 years ago by a Palestinian woman called Huda Amori. She came to this university as a Palestinian woman and saw the complicity, and she wanted to put it to an end. Not just doing advocacy, not just raising awareness, but direct action, making sure the university cannot get away with what they're doing. That means hitting their reputation. That means hitting them in the press. That means making everyone know what this university is getting up to, because they want to hide it. They want to hide it from everyone. They don't want students. They don't want the public to know what they're up to. So when she came to this university, the University of Manchester was invested in something called Caterpillar Inc. Caterpillar Inc. builds the bulldozers that the Israelis use to demolish Palestinian homes. There was a 4-year campaign to get rid of that, and we won. In the end, we won. The university University of Manchester divested from Caterpillar because of 4 years of intense campaigning from Palestinians and supporters and students. And it didn't take that many.
They've just closed the bank. Why? Because they are shamed by their investments. They are investing in Israeli apartheid. Barclays Bank has a long history of investing in Lockheed Martin, BAE Systems, all these international arms companies that have been complicit in bombings around the world, including the bombing of Iraq that killed over 1 million people and left Iraq in complete destruction, and as well all those companies making money off the deaths of so many in Gaza. They killed 250 Palestinians in Gaza last month in 10 days. 10 days of bombing, 250 killed, 66 children murdered. You have apartheid as defined by international law, controlling of an entire indigenous population. That's been Palestine for the last 73 years. You won't get it in the newspapers, you won't hear it in the news, but then you didn't either about Mandela. Mandela was a terrorist, according to Margaret Thatcher at the time. The ANC was on the terrorist list, and yet there are heroes now. Can you see how these people are demonised and then they become heroes when they have to admit that they were fighting for justice? And finally, people are having to admit that the Palestinians are fighting for justice and freedom like anybody else would, and we will win justice and freedom for the Palestinians. Barclays Bank, shame on you! Barclays Bank, shame on you! Albert, shame, shame!
Albert, shame, shame!
All the crimes in your name!
All the crimes in your name!
JLL, shame on you!
JLL, shame on you!
JLL,
shame on you! JLL, shame on you!
If you're ever passing JLL, I suggest you have a word with them and ask why the hell that they've got Albert offices. Why the hell are they taking money off the worst weapons company in the world, making money off the deaths of so many, off the rivers of blood running through Gaza? Why on earth would you go to work and say, yeah, let's let Albert in, let's let a weapons manufacturer in whose only intention is to make money from death? How dare they? We shame them every day because they're going to work making that decision deliberately. And now a little bit of extra profit is not worth the 66 children that were killed in Gaza last month. No, it isn't, JLL. Think of humanity first for once in your lives. Now we're marching. Final destination is Andy Burnham's office! Andy Burnham sanctions now! 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 We are going to have a big moment for the Palestinians because it's a big moment to transmit to the rest of the world. We are all going to have a mass diet outside the 56 Oxford Street and inside of the Church Gatehouse. If you can't or you don't want to, that's fine. Stay on the side and take pictures or video. We're going to lie down like this with the scenes of one of Israel's horrific bombings, and we're going to make sure we bring the real home to Andy Burnham. So everybody, you can put the down.
Palestine deserves silence forever. All the people that were killed by Israel, it wasn't just the past 11 days, it's been 73 years. Every single day, they kill and kill and kill more Palestinians. They think the world is going to be silent, but we will not be silenced. We are at their doorsteps. They will not ignore us anymore.
What is to be done? What is the problem? Apartheid. Mandela Mandela, the grandson of Nelson Nelson Mandela described it as the worst apartheid we have ever seen. The Mandelas know a little thing about apartheid, ladies and gentlemen. They're aware of it. This is the most egregious apartheid ever produced. And do you know why? A South African explained it to me on Tuesday, oddly enough. I'd never really thought about it. He said, what we had in South Africa, when the bullets came, when the dogs came, when the tear gas came, there was always somewhere to hide. The coloured aunties, the black mamas hid us. There were safe houses. Where are the safe houses in Palestine, in Gaza? Where are they? There aren't any. There aren't any. As Adi said earlier, they will come and they will blow up your house. They will smash the door down. They will kill your children. They're drones which are fashioned not far away from here, in Elbit, in Oldham. Their drones will come in the night when children sleep and take away young lives. Now, we've been organising some opposition on the internet because the Zionists aren't on the streets anymore, maybe because they're ashamed, maybe because they're afraid, who cares? But they are all over the internet. And they're on a site called Quora. A friend of mine reported he saw a posting, a question said, if the 65 children killed and the last onslaught in Gaza were going to grow up to be terrorists, was Israel justified in neutralising them? This is a question on Quora that somebody put up. Can you imagine if somebody said, well, if the children at the Ariel Grande concert were going to grow up to be an imperialist, maybe the Libyan had a point. You wouldn't, would you? It's disgusting. It's child murder. We have to reject all of their ridiculous claims of victimisation, of Jew hating and the rest. We have to reject all of their finely woven arguments about the rights of Israel to some mythical homeland. It is nonsense. The white South Africans during the time of apartheid talked about a lost white race that had been there before the blacks. This is just as mythical. These people are from America and Eastern Europe. What can you do? Those of you at college, those of you at school, those of you in your communities, go back and organise. Each one of you, 2, 3, 4 others, yeah? Organise small groups, discussion committees, take the leaflets, click on the pages. We need a network of activism across this city, across this country, across the world, and we will bring it down. Israel had their Soweto moment when they went into Al-Aqsa. They went too far, and the result is too many dead children. It means that the public no longer feel that kind of sympathy for the poor little Israeli state, which has the 4th largest and 3rd most powerful army in the world. Now is the time. Seize the time. Take them down. We can do it. Thank you very much.
19-year-old Jawhar Nasser Jawhar were 2 aspiring Palestinian footballers. One day, on their way home from a football training session, Israeli forces fired upon them as they approached the checkpoint. 10 bullets in Jawhar's feet, and Adam took 1 each. They were then beaten and mauled by checkpoint dogs. They survived, but they merely live a shadow of their past, no longer being able to do what they love most, play football. And another instance of Israeli brutality against footballers. 24-year-old Palestinian Mohammed Obey, a star player for the Al-Salah football team, who has always also been offered a deal with the Tunisian club, was shot by an explosive bullet by an Israeli sniper in his knee. His knee was left obliterated, both his legs broken, ending his future in football in seconds. Now, he is unable to provide for his family, and laying it at home while the person who destroyed his life remains free. In a split second, his future was robbed from him. Now, these are only 2 of many cases of Israeli forces robbing Palestinians of their dreams. Mahmoud Zarzak and Muhammad Khalil were 2 others amongst many who were victims of this, either unjustly tortured, imprisoned, or shot. Since 2018, FEMA has sponsored the Israeli Football Association, and they continue to do so despite the attack on Gaza earlier this year, where 255 innocent people were killed, including 66 children, and where 70,000 people were left displaced. They continue to sponsor the Israeli Football Association despite the ethnic cleansing that's happening in Sheikh Jarrah and Silwan. They continue to sponsor them despite daily assaults and arrests of Israeli forces on the Palestinian people. Not only that, but in the occupied East Jerusalem, there is the exclusive distributor of Puma products for Israel and the Israeli Football Association. Puma is not only complicit with Israeli apartheid, but they see no problem with dealing with a country that has many war crimes and broken many international laws. We are gathered here to tell Puma no more. We are here to tell the world that Israel cannot continue with ethnic cleansing and genocide. We will not stop until there is justice. We will not stop until Palestine is free. Free, free.
Palestine!
Free, free.
Palestine!
Free, free.
Palestine!
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free!
Boycott human five-a-side football. Some of our Palestinian activists have written out the names of footballers who have been battered and injured by Israel, by apartheid Israel, whether it's shot at checkpoints or burned in Gaza or arrested and tortured. These are real crimes against sports people as well as all the other crimes of not letting them travel and play abroad. So we're going to play football in the names of all the martyred and injured sports stars that have aspirations just like all the good footballers here. And we'll have a quick five-a-side game and we'll hope that the boycott human team wins.
I'm going to call all the names out. Khalil Al-Mukhrabi, Ramiz Bakir, Muhammad Khalil, Ismail Muhammad Bakir, Sami Abu Musa, Ahmed Atif Bakir, Zakaria Ahmed Bakir, Ahmed Fakkoud, Saad Yusuf Oda, and Sarsak.
I guess the thing to do normally would be to thank you for coming here. But obviously that has been extremely important for us in the difficult days since our exhibition was disfigured, since the statement which was part of the exhibition was removed. And having that solidarity is extremely moving and important. But I say, I'm not really going to thank you because we are here together in a same struggle. The quest here is not simply for that particular statement to come up, as important as it is. It is about what could be said within a university context. What we could do to show our support of Palestinians. What can we do to struggle against settler colonialism, to struggle against apartheid in Palestine? And how we can turn the university and the art spaces that the universities provide into sites of struggle and contestation. This struggle is important because it's about the limit of what could be said. Within the human rights community, first the Palestinian human rights organizations, then even Israeli human rights organizations, and within mainstream organizations such as Human Rights Watch, the term apartheid becomes the way to designate a very specific crime performed by the Israeli state on Palestinians. The institutionalization of racial division and bias into law and policy. That principle is accepted by mainstream organizations such as the UN and those organizations that I mentioned before. But that term seems to be impossible to say within a university context. What does it mean? When we cannot use, when university, we cannot use the terms that have been used by Palestinians in their struggles and by human rights organizations. What does it leave a university as a place for knowledge production, as a place for political understanding, as a place for political resistance, when we cannot have those terms? So effectively, we are standing here for the right to use within a university context terms such as apartheid, ethnic cleansing, settler colonialism, terms that designate and describe the reality that Palestinians are experiencing across the multiple area that Palestine is being divided into by Israeli government. You know, we speak about the occupation, but the occupation is not the whole story. There is those Palestinians that are living, I would say, trapped within the state of Israel. Perhaps they have citizenship, perhaps they can even articulate their citizenship in voting rights. But there are about 40 odd laws, other laws, that are completely and directly targeting them as people. And they extend from access to land, migration, to freedom of movement. We're speaking about an attack on Palestinians that is actually divided across the multiple zones that are under Israeli control. Gaza, the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Palestinians in diaspora. And I hope and I feel that there are here diaspora Palestinians who themselves now in Manchester have been targeted by an extension of that policy. This struggle does not only happen in Palestine, it's a worldwide struggle. And you're here fighting it just like our colleagues and friends are fighting it day in, day out in their town and villages, on their territories in Palestine. And I think that this is why this struggle is absolutely essential and important. We're struggling together. You come here, I suppose, to reinstate our statement, but the battle is much bigger than that. It's about what the university would actually let us say, and how, when we say so, they would seek to moderate it with other voice. It is because you are here that the statement will be reinstated. The fact that you are here has already been out in the press, and the fact of that demonstration was known to everybody. And this is why this morning we in Forensic Architecture got an assurance that the statement will be placed. In fact, Samane and I are here to make sure the statement is where we put it, where we elected. Right. And that's because of you. That is your struggle. When the university quoted to us the principle of the duties of equality, and under certain kind of laws to do that actually bound a public institution in that duty, we insisted from the start that Palestinian communities in Manchester and the Palestinian Solidarity Movement in Manchester is part of the debate. That this debate is not simply because between, a London-based organization, or even me as an Israeli Jew, and a Jewish community with different opinion that is here. That the discussion about Palestine need to absolutely involve Palestinian voices. I don't think they've been consulted, and the voices were not heard, but here you are, and the voices are heard loud and clear in what we are demanding. We, just like you, we've heard about that the statement is going to be up. We heard that there's going to be some kind of moderated discussion. We want to make sure that that discussion involves the voices of the Palestinian community here. That Palestinians are not left out of the discussion and the conversation about their land, about their relative, about their heritage, about their country that is being pillaged and colonized by Israel.
As some of you might know, we're not necessarily an artist group. We're a university-based research unit, and we usually present our findings, our caseworks in national and international courts, in the media, in citizen tribunals, so on and so forth. And it's when those bases for accountability are not available that we turn to cultural forums, we turn to universities, we turn into museums and galleries like the Whitworth, right? And we present our methodologies there, and we present our findings there to turn those spaces into a space of accountability. And I think it's because of your presence here that we've managed to do this, that this is a space now to hold Manchester University accountable and to hold UK LFI accountable.